Welcome to The Objective Dad. Today is Friday, April 10th. My name is Matt, and today I'm going to talk about my career advice to teens. And going over the content for this one, I really have three main things that I want to start with, and maybe we'll do another video at some future time. But I think there's really three big areas that'll be helpful to kick off with. Really one topic is going to be kind of when to start, then planning your higher education, and then finally I just want to touch a little bit on hobbies and when to make a career out of a hobby, because I think just with the kids that I've talked to over the years, who are trying to make college level decisions, that's always been kind of a big one. So first things first. When to start. And I think my general advice is that it's always the most beneficial to really start as early as you can. I actually was very lucky in this respect because when I was growing up, I had a interest in computers and video games and technology, and that was at a time where there was no internet. My first computer was a Xeos 386 SX with a 40 megabyte hard drive, rather, and it was not top of the line, but it was pretty good for the day. And when you give a teenager something like that, where you can potentially play games and have a lot of fun with, but there's a very large technical barrier. Like I said, I was very lucky because I had to kind of do a lot of self-teaching, and I think I learned a lot of really good habits during that time. And every person's not going to be going into technology, but my one bit of advice to both teens and parents is that if there's anything that you can do right now to start getting your feet wet with things that are going to be useful in a career down the road, that's always a good idea. And part of becoming financially independent, as an adult, and picking the right places to go, the faster that you can get in that mindset, I think the better off you'll be, and honestly, the easier life that you'll lead. And when you get maybe a little bit older, like junior, senior, and you start looking at colleges, one of the things that I think was really important is trying to understand, what the hiring criteria is for your given field. And I'm going to try to keep a lot of the examples real, and for better or worse, I'm into technology, so that might be going to Career Builder and or Monster or LinkedIn or some of these job sites. And just trying to get a sense for what skill sets are companies looking for. And so that's actually pretty valuable. What technology do I learn? Java or C++ or COBOL or Fortran. So there's some obvious choices and less obvious choices, because technology changes very quick, and it's not always easy to pick where you want to go. So first and foremost, that kind of gives you a sense for looking for what skills companies are hiring for, and you can kind of start in the theme of starting early. Maybe you can work on a few fun projects. I always wanted to make my own video game when I was younger, and nowadays it's actually a lot easier to actually start creating a portfolio of work that you've done. When you were younger and you didn't have to. So it would be, how great would it be if you get your associate's or your bachelor's degree or some other technical certification, you go in for that interview and say, hey, look, here's a GitHub repo of a silly little game that I made when I was 15 years old. So I wasn't out just wasting my time. I was doing this is kind of a little window into the work ethic that you can expect from me. So those are good things, and it's real easy to do now to share stuff like that, like I said. The other one, machine learning is kind of the big hot thing right now, and if you want to start getting involved with that, but you either don't have access to resources or you don't know where to start, Google or the Kaggle site is really just a tremendous place to go to for machine learning competitions, and there are it's really easy to get started there. They have some kind of fun projects to get your feet wet. And they also have resources, from a compute standpoint. So maybe you want to do text or image stuff, but you don't have a GPU available. And I think the notebooks hosted on Kaggle are available to everybody. And they also have different examples. So if you get stuck on something, you can kind of look at what what other people did to go about solving a problem or visualizing a data set. So just tremendous amount of resources. The main theme is that I would really encourage folks to start as early as you can. If you're 15, 16 years old and you're already thinking about your career, becoming financially independent, that's going to sound great during an interview. And you really have to think that way, because when you get out of school and you have that degree, that basically says that you survived. Experience isn't everything, especially in IT where things change so quickly, but experience counts for a lot. And that degree says something about you. And if you have something else to stand out from the thousands of others that also have that same degree and are trying to get their foot in the door, it's just going to help you. And maybe that's a good segue into the next topic, which was looking to plan your higher education. And this is I've given this advice to several folks, and I think it's pretty sound, and you're going to hear a lot of the same themes over and over. But I really want, if you can, to start thinking about what career path do you go down. Do you want to be IT? Do you want to go join law enforcement or criminal justice? You have to pick something. You need at least some direction. And I would also advise, if I'm a teenager, a junior, senior, ready to go to select a college, try to figure out where you want to live. Do you want to stay next to your parents? Do you want to go, are you in New York or Pennsylvania and you just can't stand the weather there and you want to make it to Florida or one of the southern states? Think about that right now. And once you have a target area involved, I strongly recommend going back to these career sites. So I'm going to go back to LinkedIn. I'm going to go back to Career Builder, and I'm going to look for careers in that field, in that area that I want to get hired in. And you get a sense for, there's different companies that have different needs for various skill sets. So if you kind of look at what jobs are available in your field that you want to get your degree in, and the area that you want to move in, that really starts to narrow down, you can kind of see, number one, what companies are there and where you would actually work. But number two, you can actually get started early on these. Colleges offer a lot of electives, or if you're maybe not going the college route and you want to do certifications, same principle applies. You don't want to be, certified for as an Azure engineer, and all the big hiring companies in your area are big on AWS or GCP. So that's kind of an important. So you want to look, you want to work backwards from where the end, where you want to end up. And the next little bit of information is look at the hiring requirements, because a lot of companies will say, hey, we're going to call you and we're going to give you a 30-minute phone interview, and then we're going to give you a homework problem to do, and then we're going to pull you on site. And like that'll the sooner that you're kind of mentally prepared for things like that, I think the better off you're going to be as well. And there's no shortage of sites that have homework problems from various companies around. There's some good ones. There's some terrible ones, to be honest. But again, you're junior, senior, and you're thinking about going into college and picking a career. This is really going to help you prepare, a couple years in advance for getting the job that you really want. And just to close it out with the last point, I would like to advise to not pursue, or I would say, let me say it like this: don't rush into a career that turns your hobby into an income source. And I can already hear kind of the naysayers commenting on that, but more often than not, with real people that I know, you spend a lot of work and time and frustration into trying to make money Maybe you want to, do consulting with something, or maybe you want to do, maybe you like making, maybe you like glass blowing and you want to, go pursue that, because that's your hobby. And wouldn't it be fun to get paid for something that you love doing? And I always try to discourage that because, well, certainly I think there's a lot of success stories there. So this isn't universally true, but so there's a lot of success stories who have people have made great careers out of their hobby. I think there's also something to be said to consider getting some type of financial stability first. And if you wanted to start easing into turning your hobby into a business, that would probably be better off coming later. I think of myself actually, when I was in college, I was a freshman or sophomore, and we had the FBI come in and talk to us, the FBI recruiter. And I thought, how cool is that? That's what I want to do. So of course, the first thing I go out and do is, I like to shoot, so I went out and bought, a Glock 23, because the FBI shoots 40 cal. Me not knowing much about shooting, I said that's what I wanted. That's what I want to become proficient in. So, that may have been great. That may have helped me in like some small way to, to kind of, maybe pass some of the shooting qualifications if I did pursue law enforcement or FBI as a career. But the reality is I just want to shoot with my friends. That was kind of a fun thing that we did, and it didn't necessarily benefit me, and it was just sort of an excuse to go out and have fun. And I really didn't have now that I know myself a little bit better, as an adult, I don't think I would have enjoyed that career, one bit. I'm pretty happy with where I'm at now. So I say that to, just, be cognizant of, if there's something that you love to do, do it. I mean, that's why we work so hard. That's kind of the, life is a journey, everybody says. It really is. You live your life, to the best, and achieve and earn as much happiness as humanly possible. And if that's, if that's knitting or glass blowing or shooting or, whatever it happens to be, go do that. When you start tying that to your financial stability, all this stress can creep in. So now you have to not worry about, just going out and, being a good shot, or, dyeing the right color yarn, or or making the perfect little sculpture, whatever it happens to be. Now you have to worry about taxes and hiring people and firing people and schedules and, demand planning if you're selling something, like all these other things that just have to occur running a business. They start coming into play. So rambling a little bit, but my general advice is, don't rush into making a career out of your hobbies. And that's about it. That's my list of 3 topics. If you like this video, please go ahead and like it, and leave a comment and give me your feedback, and have a great rest of the day. Thank you.